Now another thing we're going to want to do here, and I should have done this before I duplicated the first object, but it's not a big deal, is I'm going to actually create a material, and the prefix for materials is usually m, so m_monkey. Now, one thing in Unreal Engine 4, I'm just going to go up to my shading tab here, is that materials from Blender do not correctly import over. I'm just going to hide this. So what I mean by that is, if I create this with a very bright color, say no roughness, and a metallic value, it will actually only import over the base color. I'll have to define the other attributes in the material in Unreal Engine. That's as far as Blender 2.93.1, that's just a limitation of the FBX file. So what I'll do is I'll also enable the second monkey, just so that they're both sharing the same material, m_monkey. Both of those have that, and of course the collision mesh does not need any material. So we'll go back to default. That material color, just for testing purposes, that has no relevance whatsoever. It's just for testing. So now that we have all this here, there's actually something tricky that we're going to have to do. So what we're going to do is press Shift A, create an empty plane axis, and we are going to call this SM_monkey. Now there's actually a trick that we have to do to be able to have LODs work in Unreal Engine 4 with FBXs. So what we do is we click on the SM_monkey, just the empty. We go to the Object tab, Custom Properties. We add a custom property. We hit the Edit button, and we call this FBX_type. And then the property value, we're going to call this LOD group, all one word, well, two words combined with no spaces, with a capital L and a capital G, with the FBX_type. We're going to hit OK. Now, basically what this is Unreal Engine 4 will read the properties, and it'll see FBX type, LOD group, and it'll know that anything inside this empty will be part of the LOD group. So now what we do is we click and select LOD0, shift click the empty, Control P, object, keep transform, and we'll do the same thing with LOD1. I'm not too sure if the order matters, but to be safe, I do it that way, and it doesn't really hurt when there's only two meshes in the first place. So now you can see that you've got SM_monkey, and that is parented to SM_monkey LOD0 and LOD1, as well as we have the UCX mesh, which is the collision mesh for Unreal Engine 4. Now what we're going to do is we're going to press Control A, or sorry, just A, make sure we have everything in the scene selected, with the exception, of course, of anything else you'll have in the scene. You just want these objects selected. We'll come up to File, Export, FBX. Just going to maximize this. Okay, so here I've created a folder, just a project folder for exporting out the mesh. So the way that you're going to see your FBX export options, it's going to look like this by default. I actually have a preset that I've created. I'll run through what it does. Basically, if you look at the differences, we're just using the selected objects. The reason this is important is, of course, if you have multiple objects in the scene, you have a large scene, you're going to want to change those out. The object types, you could have all of these, because if there's nothing, no lamps, no camera selected, it won't import. Just to be safe, I'm choosing empty and mesh. You also want to have custom properties checked, which is the box that we entered in for the FBX type of LOD group. Then if you come up here and you look, Unreal Engine 4 likes to have -y is forward and z is up. So that's what I have there, as well as I've changed the smoothing to faces. That's the recommended thing to do. And I just have apply modifiers here so that subdivision surface modifier will be applied. I unclicked bake animation. There's absolutely no animation data to export whatsoever. And as far as I can see, those are the only differences between the export. So now I'll click here, smmonkey.fbx, and I'll